In this episode of Top of the Key, we talk about LeBron and the Cavs having some defensive struggles again, the Trailblazers beating the Thunder on a kind of a technicality, the Lakers beating really good teams, and the Knicks straight dominating in the Garden. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Top of the Key, presented by TurfToeShow.com. My name is Mike Floyd. In this show, we talk about everything NBA related, from scores, player news, trade rumors, or pretty much all the drama that just unfolds in the NBA on a daily basis. So to start out, I'm going to talk about LeBron James, because he seems to be in the news a lot. Well, not really LeBron, more like the Cavs, because actually LeBron is doing his thing. So back on Friday, the Cleveland Cavaliers were in Washington, and the Wizards, they've been feeling like they've been disrespected for the past couple years. John Wall and Bradley Beal feel like they're the best backcourt in the NBA. They feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers were kind of ducking them in the finals. Well, they kind of like tanked their last 4 games, so they had to play them, which was kind of weird because they lost to the Celtics and they ended up not even making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. But it's neither here or there. So they're talking trash for the game, and LeBron being LeBron, he goes up there and drops 57 on them. And the Cleveland Cavaliers end up winning 130-122. What's crazy about this game is that even though LeBron went out there and dropped 57 points, I think he had like 6 steals, a whole bunch of blocks, and a bunch of other crazy stuff. Yeah, 57 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. They could have still almost lost that game. Bradley Beal had 36 points himself. I think John Wall ended up getting hurt. I think his AC joint, when he went for a cut, he ended up, I think it was Channing Frye. I might be wrong on that, but I think he went around the screen, and like at this, whoever it was just kind of like bumped him a little bit, and you could tell that it hit his shoulder, and when he hit the ground, it landed right on that shoulder. But that was one of those games. It was like the Wizards were still in that game. LeBron was dropping 57 points. That should have been a complete blowout. I mean, they were just a couple shots away from tying that thing back up. So it wasn't the big win that everybody expected it. It did stop their losing streak for the time being, because on that Sunday, Atlanta came to town, and Atlanta was garbage at the time. They had only won 1 game. Atlanta ends up winning 117-115. Schroeder, he ended up having 28 points, 9 assists. And it was just like, what are you doing? Like, you lost to one of the worst teams in the East. Like, obviously your defensive struggles are still there. Now, I only managed to catch maybe the half part of that game. It was kind of an early game, and I was at work and whatnot. And it just seemed like when I started watching it during the end of the 3rd quarter, it seemed like Atlanta was giving Cleveland so many chances to take back that game and win. So for the starting lineup right now, LeBron James, he had 26 points, I want to say 13 assists and 5 rebounds. The guy that really came in for him really did good for those guys was Kyle Korver. I think Kevin Love, he got sick. He actually ended up leaving. I want to say the 1st or 2nd quarter, ended up going to the hospital. He was legit sick. J.R. Smith didn't really do anything, just like the rest of the season. He's only got 6 points. Derrick Rose had 10 points. And Dwayne Wade, he had 25. And Dwayne Wade, they were interviewing him, and he was saying, hey, our first unit's got to get out there and get this lead for us. Hey, you got to set the tone. It'd be different if the 2nd unit came out and we lost the lead for you guys, and, just go ahead and, flame us for it. But, it's up to our starters to do it. And I'm thinking, dude, weren't you a starter at some point in time at the beginning of the season? If it's so necessary for the starters to get the rally going, get yourself back in the starting lineup, or you stop talking trash on the sideline, dude. Besides that, the Cavs fall to 4-6. It's really early in the year. I'm not really a Cleveland fan. I respect their talent out there, but I think you want to see the best teams in the playoffs. So I hope that they can get their acts together, because if this trend continues, those losses do add up, and it'll be hard. It'll be an uphill battle, because the West, is really tight. The East is starting to pull apart a little bit. Yes, it's still early, but they need to fix this trend now. And they're saying that Derrick Rose is going to be a minutes restriction throughout the entire season. So they plan to keep him between 28 to 31 minutes per game, and it depends on how well he's playing. And I guess they're trying to make sure he doesn't have those injury problems that he had before, which is smart. But I do think they're still waiting for Isaiah Thomas to come back. And there was footage of him actually taking shots, prior to the game, doing jump rope in the hallways. So it's beginning November right now, so it's a possibility this dude will be back, pretty soon. Hopefully beginning of January, which they're hoping for. And As long as they're not the 76 Dockers. Yeah, no, he should be able to come back. Going to the West Coast, we got to talk about the Lakers. Somehow the Lakers are beating teams that are really good and losing teams that are really sorry. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies last night at 107-102. And everybody keeps talking about Lonzo this, Lonzo that. I mean, he played 35 minutes, had 9 points. He actually scored in this game. And I want to say he had 9 assists. The star of the Lakers right now is Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is dropping threes from all over the place. I mean, Brook Lopez is on fire. 21 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists. Kyle Kuzma got the start because Larry Nance Jr. got a broken hand. I think he went up and I don't remember if it was against the Clippers or the Pistons, but he hit his hand really weird and ended up breaking some bones in his hand, so he's going to be out for a couple weeks. So another guy that I've been looking out for, Kyle Kuzma, he got the start. He got 13 points. 12 rebounds and 1 assist. So the kid's been playing out of his mind. He's my candidate for at least he's in the running for Rookie of the Year, along with Jason Tatum out there in Boston. But they had on Friday they beat the Brooklyn Nets. It was like D'Angelo Russell's return to LA. They were all hyping it up. It wasn't really that big of a game. They ended up beating them 124-112, which they should have beat them because Brooklyn's not really that good. I honestly think that Brooklyn's better when D'Angelo's off the floor because that's actually how they beat the Cavs when D'Angelo was hurt. But Brook Lopez went completely off in that game as well. He had 34 points. I want to say 6 3-pointers, 9 attempts. So he's 66.6 3-point efficiency. And he had 10 rebounds. Julius Randle is finally stepping up, finally, after all these years. He started to get some good minutes and he's controlling the paint for these guys. So I think Luke Walton finally has a game plan. And the way they keep beating these teams, man, I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll have a chance to disrupt some people's seedings just to really mess them up. Now the team that's been tripping me out, man, is the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Pistons have been on a tear lately. They're 7-3 right now. They beat the Sacramento Kings, who were 108-99 on Saturday, and the Milwaukee Bucks 105-96. And Andre Drummond, he had 10 straight games with 12+ rebounds to start the season off, which is the second longest streak to start the season in the last 35 years, which is ridiculous. The one thing that Andre Drummond was able to do in the offseason was absolutely, completely turn around his free throw game. This guy is actually knocking down free throws, which is a scary thing because that was his main criticism that people have for the past couple of years on that guy. Now, the one game that I was able to catch was at a Warriors-Denver game. I don't know if you were able to catch the blog that I started. When I first started Top of the Key, I was doing it in blog format. And one of the guys, I do the Turf Toe show with, he's a Denver fan. So I was keeping an eye on the Nuggets, so I have some more, ammo to throw it back at him. And I was liking the way the Nuggets look. I like Paul Millsap. I liked it when he was in Atlanta. And I thought they would do pretty good. Well, they decided to play against the Golden State Warriors and got completely embarrassed on their home court. Golden State came in and beat them 127-108. The Warriors outscored the Nuggets 43-21 in the third quarter. It got so bad that all 5 starters got pulled from the game for the Denver Nuggets and got sat on the bench, and only one came back in, and I want to say the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. It was horrible. They were looking good in the first quarter, but as soon as the Warriors won that run in the third, it was nah, y'all gotta do something. This is bad. So they're 5-5 right now. Golden State 7-3. I mean, they just messed around, let Clay and Steph get hot. And going down south, down to Houston, James Harden is quietly, racking up some wins. Last night he dropped 56 points and 13 assists in a 137 rout over Utah Jazz. Beat them 137-110. And this is without Chris Paul. And so I don't know how much longer Chris Paul's gonna be out, but it looks like they don't need him, man. James Harden is just scoring all the points. He's just going completely off. So, we had LeBron drop 57 the night prior to that, and then Harden drops 56. I'm interested to see who's going to drop the next 50-plus game, if it's going to become a continued trend. And just going further west from Houston to San Antonio, Popovich, he earned his 1,156 victory, 6th of all time. He beat the Phoenix Suns 112-95. But my team, the New York Knicks, 5-4 right now. Beat the Indiana Pacers, the streaking Indiana Pacers. We beat them 108-101 in New York. Kristaps Porzingis, he 40 points, 6 blocks. This dude is playing completely bananas. He finally getting the chance to control the ball. When Melo was there, he didn't really have a chance to really build his game up. Well, you could tell he put work in this offseason. He put some work in. And, it's just everything's going, and you can tell like with that Frank Ntilikina kid, he will have open shots, but he's willing to defer to Kristaps and let him take the shots because he's on fire right now. I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr., he's doing his thing. He gets 16 points, 2 rebounds. Enes Kanter, I think, is the biggest. I think he's the X factor for the Knicks right now because he's just dominating on rebounds. He's getting 18 rebounds per game. He's getting his points here and there, but he's able to set up those low post moves for Kristaps, and is allowing us to score pretty easily in there. And Ntilikina, I mean, he's 23 minutes. He's come off the bench, 10 points, 7 assists. The kid has amazing defensive, defensive mindset. So I think once they slowly get him up to speed in the NBA speed, he's going to be a beast. So I think he's going to be like another Kyrie. But a little bit more defensive. Like they have the same build and the same kind of he doesn't have the handles like Kyrie. Like nobody has handles like Kyrie. But I think once he gets his shot down, he's going to be dangerous. So him and Porzingis. And they decide to keep Hardaway because, they got Courtney Lee and Jarrett Jack, but I think they're going to end up letting Jarrett Jack go probably at the end of the year. I think he's on a 1-year contract anyway. Speaking of Kyrie, the Celtics, they just keep winning. I don't know what is going on out there after they dropped 2 in the beginning of the season. After they lost Gordon Hayward, they just been on a tear. They're on the best start since the 2010-2011 season. They beat the Orlando Magic 104-88. I don't know. I guess Brad Stevens, the coach, he figured it out. Kyrie, he didn't really have a big night. He only had 11 points. Al Horford, he had 14, and Jaylen Brown 18. But it's like all these younger guys are starting to step up, and that pick and roll that the Celtics are running with Kyrie and Kyrie and Al Horford, it just works because once Kyrie brings all the defense on him, he just dumps it out to Al Horford. He sits on 3 line. That guy has one of the ugliest shots in the league. But he's dropping threes left and right for these guys. So that team, they're looking really, really good. I like them. Their next couple games, they got to go down to play the Atlanta Hawks. Then Lonzo and the crew comes in on Wednesday and plays. Then they got to play Charlotte Hornets and the Raptors to take out the week. I'm interested to see if they can win all 4 of those games. Atlanta, I want to see if they're able to beat them and see if their defense is able to stop Schroeder. And then I want to see if they can handle, Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma for LA, because LA, those guys are quick and young, but Boston has a bunch of young, quick guys too. Charlotte, you got Dwight Howard down in the post, down in the paint, just dominating the board. So it'd be nice to see what him and Al Horford can do against each other. And then Toronto Raptors, DeMar Rosen and I can't remember the other kid's name is escaping me at the moment. But it's they're not really off to a hot start right now, but it's Toronto. So speaking of, way too early standings and week 3, I want to say. Right now in the Eastern Conference, top 10 is Boston, Detroit, Orlando, Washington, Toronto, Philadelphia, New York, Charlotte, Indiana, and Miami. If the season was to end right now, Cleveland wouldn't even be in the playoffs, but we all know that's way too early to tell. They only played 10 games. For the Western Conference is, Houston on top, deservedly so. Minnesota, Golden State, Memphis, Portland, San Antonio, Clippers, Utah, New Orleans, and then the Los Angeles Lakers. So, for the top 10. But Utah, New Orleans, and LA, they're all tied up with, 5 wins, 5 losses. But I think New Orleans has the tiebreaker over the Lakers. And I'm not too sure about the Utah game. I don't know who they played. Oklahoma is not even in the top 8 right now. So they got a problem going on right now. They're not... The same Russell Westbrook that we saw last year is not showing up right now. I think he has too many stars on the team. It needs to be him, Steven Adams, and a bunch of other guys. Not him, Steven Adams, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, and some other random dude. That team needs to focus around Russell Westbrook. I think that's the reason why they gave him all that money. But it's not really working right now. It is early, but Billy Donovan's going to figure something out. Carmelo Anthony actually got thrown out their game the other night against the Blazers. They gave him a flagrant 2. He went up for like a layup, but it looked like when he went up, he kind of brought his elbow down and he hit Nurkic in the face. And Nurkic went down hard, and Carmelo scored the basket. And everybody thought it was a foul on Nurkic, but they ended up giving it on Carmelo and threw him out the game. And nobody could understand, what's going on. And Blazers ended up winning 103-99. And according to the crew chief Rodney Mott, he deemed that the contact was excessive and that it was not a natural basketball move when he seeks out Nurkic and hits him in the face with an elbow and goes back to the basket. So it's because it's unnatural and deemed excessive, therefore it's flagrant 2. To me, when I was watching live, when he went up, Nurkic went up like they normally do, both hands up. It seemed like Carmelo he went up, came down with his elbow, hit him in the face, and then went back up again. I don't know why he did the double move, because Nurkic went straight up. There was no reason for Carmelo to come down, so I think that's what the ref saw. Had Carmelo not done that, it would have been perfectly fine. And he probably would have stayed in the game. They probably would have ended up winning that game. But then again, Dame Lillard is playing completely out of his mind right now. He hit the game winner over the Lakers the other night, just straight iced them. He had 36 points, 13 assists. Dude, he's like playing for that respect. I mean, he's playing all-star, potential, but it's the West, so they ain't got an uphill battle. So that's gonna be it for this episode of Top of the Key. Check us out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If I have time to get these out, finals are starting to come up for school, so I'm slowly, trying to make sure I get that done my last semester. So I'm almost done with school. So once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go with this hard. Check us out every Thursday for the Turf Toe Show. That's where we talk about everything football related, college and NFL. A lot of stuff going on with the Eagles. Dallas Cowboys still got, Ezekiel Elliott on the field running wild, and a bunch of teams just being complete garbage. I mean, 49ers, Browns, Giants, my Ravens, just garbage right now. Also follow us on all that, social media websites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our YouTube channel. Just type in Turf Toe Show and you'll find us. Just hit us up and let us know how we're doing. Shoot us some feedback. Any feedback helps. So until next time.